Good morning, class 9 students. This is the second part of the chapter, The Adventures of Toto. So, before we begin our today's session, let's discuss the portion we covered in the last video and in the first part of the chapter, The Adventures of Toto. So, in today's session, we won't be discussing about the writer of the chapter, the author, as we have already discussed about him in the first video. So, you can always go back and check it in case you have skipped it. So, before we proceed with our today's text, let's discuss the summary and let's have a glance over the portion we studied in the last video. So let me just remind you the chapter. It is actually an amusing story that revolves around a mischievous naughty monkey Toto, whom grandfather has brought home. So the narrator's grandfather, he bought a monkey from a tanga driver and it cost him 5 rupees. Because a grandfather, he also has a private zoo at his house and he's very fond of animals. And let's talk about the monkey Toto. Toto was a pretty monkey. He's very naughty. You could actually see the mischief in his shining eyes. And if we talk about his teeth, they are very pearly, they are very shiny, and they are shiny, but they are very scary enough to scare Anglo-Indian women, right? But Toto's hands, they are very dried up, and his fingers are very quick, and his tails, it also serves as a third hand because it help him hang from the branches, right? So when Toto was brought, he was kept safe and hidden from grandmother's presence because grandmother, she doesn't like, because grandfather has already got so many pets, so many animals, right? And he was aware that grandmother would make a fuss about it, so that is why his presence was hidden. And Toto was kept in a secret place, and where he was kept in a little closet, Ruskin's Bond's closet, right? So it opened into the narrator's bedroom, and this is where Toto was kept tied to a peg. Peg is a hook, P-E-G, peg. We discussed this in the last video. So when they left Toto there, and when they returned a few hours later, they found that Toto had removed the ornamental paper from the walls. He destroyed everything, and he also pulled out the hook, the peg, and he tore up narrator's school blazer, right? And but for grandfather, it was so amusing. In the beginning, it was very amusing. So this is the portion we covered in the last video. So now we will be proceeding with our today's session. So children, I will be highlighting the text for you so that you can keep the track of the chapter and you can also understand it. That will ensure the better understanding of the chapter and the explanation. Let me just highlight it first. So we are supposed to start from here. His presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. So because obviously the monkey, the monkey cannot be domesticated, right? Because it is a wild monkey and it belongs to somewhere else, not in the house especially. But so that is why he was transferred to a big cage in the servant's quarter where the servant lives, and we also have the other pets living in the servant's quarter, right? And the other pets, they lived in a very friendly manner, sociably, right? A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame. What is tame? Tame is called domesticated, right? Squirrel, and for a while my pet goat. So who do we have in the servant quarter? The pets: tortoise, pair of rabbits, squirrel, and pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions sleep at night. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. So what happened when Toto was transferred to servant's quarter? Toto could not make a good bond with the other animals, and he does not let any other, his companions to sleep at night. And that is why when grandfather had to leave for Dehradun, because he goes to, Dehradun, and he has to go to Saharanpur to collect his pension. Pension is the monetary benefit that you get after your retirement, right? It is called pension. So grandfather decided that he would take the monkey along, because monkey was disturbing and was not, I think it was not suitable to keep monkey with the other animal in the absence of grandfather and any other person, right? So unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. But the Ruskin born, he could not accompany his grandfather, and but the grandfather narrated the whole incident afterwards. So here it goes. A big black canvas. Canvas is a piece of cloth, and it's the complete is canvas kit bag. It is actually a bag where the monkey was kept inside it. Was provided for Toto. This was with this some straw at the bottom became his new abode, and this this canvas, it was actually properly ventilated so that the monkey won't suffocate. He won't die out of oxygen, right? So that's how they manage. Understand? Abode means house, home. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Toto could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. And this is a perfect abode, because it is so, strong that monkey cannot tear it off, cannot bite it off, and also he cannot take his hands off through the opening, right? So his efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air. Because this is actually a bag. The bag is strong, it cannot be torn off. But yes, if the monkey who is inside the bag, if he jumps, the bag also jumps. Understand? And yes, if he moves his hand, you could also see the movements in the bag. So that was the case. Yeah, so it means if somebody who is not aware that what we have in the what do we have in the bag, he may get confused that why the bag is jumping and all. An exhibition that attracted a curious crowd. Curious means when you are eager to know, of onlookers. Onlookers means onlookers, when you're going somewhere and somebody is looking at you, they are called onlookers, right? On the Dehradun railway platform. So onlookers, it was actually a marvelous sight, because everybody was staring at the bag which was jumping and making movement. And why it was jumping and making movement? Because it has Toto inside it. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur. So he was in the bag till Saharanpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, two suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Grin is called a smile, right? He showed his teeth. When you smile and you show your teeth, is called grin. Understand? And turnstile, it is actually a mechanical gate, right? Consisting of revolving horizontal arms. You must have seen in parks and in malls. Understand? Grin is when you show your teeth. So when the because his grandfather is traveling by train, so when when the ticket collector came, the grandfather produced his ticket, right, at the railway turnstile, right, not in the train but at railway turnstile. So the monkey, he poked his head out and he showed his teeth at the ticket collector. The poor man was taken aback. Taken aback means shocked. He was shocked. Taken aback means shocked. He was taken aback, but with great presence of mind, and much to grandfather's annoyance. Annoyance means irritation. He said, "Sir, you have a dog with you. You will have to pay for it accordingly." Right? And yes, the ticket collector was shocked, and obviously it was very annoying for grandfather. And the ticket collector asked grandfather, because he mistook the monkey as a dog, and he asked grandfather uh, to pay monkey's expense in order to travel, in order to let it travel in train. In vain means when it is useless. In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as quadruped. Quadruped means four-legged animal. Toto was classified as a dog by the ticket collector, and 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. So this is the problem he faced in, while traveling with Toto, because the ticket collector, he was not ready to accept Toto as a monkey or as a quadruped. He said that he was a dog, and he charged grandfather for 3 rupees. Understand? Then grandfather, just to get his own back, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you change for all animals?" And this is actually, the grandfather is also carrying his pet tortoise in his pocket. So when he took it out and he showed it, maybe grandfather, he did not like the idea, or he did not understand that why he was charged for the monkey. So in his annoyance, he took out his pet tortoise, and he asked the ticket collector that, "What do you make of this?" When he showed him the tortoise. So because the ticket collector, I think he has some difficulty in understanding the animal, right? So the ticket collector looked so closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his fingers. Prodded means when when you examine something. Understand? When you searched with hands, right? With your fingers and all, that is called prodded. So he touched it and gave a grandfather a pleased and triumphant means victory. Luke said, "No charge, it is not a dog." And then he said, "So sir, I won't be charging you for this turtle because it is not a dog." Triumphed means victory. Always remember. Let me just highlight it once more for you. It is called victory. Victorious, right? Triumphs. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a companion the family donkey Nana, or you can say Nana. So finally his presence came to light, and grandmother accepted him, and he was given a comfortable home in a stable. Stable is a place where the horse are kept, and he has a companion, and the companion is a donkey, right? Who were his companions before the donkey? It was rabbit, squirrel, and goat. Understand? Always remember. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from the bundle of hay. So at night, halter means HALTR, a rope or a strap, right? So at night, grandfather was he was worried, so he thought that he would check on his monkey, his pet, whether he was doing fine with the donkey or not. So he was surprised to see that actually it was the monkey who was causing the trouble. He was pulling donkey's strap, his rope, and it was preventing him from eating his bundle of hay, his food, his grain. So grandfather gave Nana a slap across her hunches. Hunches means back part of the body. So grandfather, he slapped, he gave a Nana a slap across her hunches, and she jerked back. Jerked back means it is actually, got back at once. Suddenly, here it means got back at once, and dragging Toto with her. And she, because obviously donkey is powerful, so when it used its full strength, the monkey was pulled, and he had fastened onto her long ears with his sharp little teeth. And at this moment, what did monkey do? Monkey hold on to donkey's long ears, and he bit it. It sank its teeth into the skin of the donkey and it bit him. Toto and Nana never became friends, and they never became friends. You are aware that why they did not become good friends, because of this whole situation, the way monkey reacted. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evening was the large bowl of warm water given by him by grandmother for his bath. And what was the great treat for Toto? For Toto, because in winters, grandmother, what would grandmother do? She would give him a large bowl of warm water, and he would, so that he could swim and plunge and all that. He would cunningly test the temperature with his hand, and so before jumping into the bowl, what he would do, he would examine the temperature. He would feel the temperature and then gradually step into the bath. You must have seen, lots of videos or in your areas, and even in societies, what these monkey do. They actually, they jump from the tea into the puddle, or they take off the lid of the tank, and then which is kept on the roof and at the roof, and then they would jump into it, right? So that's what the monkey do, and they do it in during summers as well. So first one, food. And this shows that monkey is actually very cunning, and he's actually behaving in a very similar way, because that's how the human beings do. We check the water whether it was comfortable or not, and then we go into, and then we bath, right? So that's how the monkey is behaving until he was into the water up to his neck, and now he's finally into the bowl. And once comfortable, he would take the soap. The monkey even applies the soap in his hands or feet to rub himself all over. Okay, so children, that's all for today's session. Because I won't be proceeding now, I will be discussing the portion we have just covered right now. So what are the difficult words? Let's talk about the difficult words we have just come across in the portion we covered today. So let me just highlight again for you that what the difficult words were, and I will be spelling it out. I mean, I will spell it for you, not okay. So tame, it's TAME, which mean pet. Understand? Unfortunately is very simple, which is unluckily. Afterwards means later, right? Canvas means a cloth, and a kid bag means it's a bag, right? Straw means dried up hay and grass. And okay, sorry, one more thing, grandfather, when the grandfather put the monkey into the bag, he actually put the straw, so that the monkey would feel comfortable, and obviously the bag was properly ventilated because the monkey was able to breathe, right? Okay, and then we have abode, ABODE, which means the place for living. Exhibition means show. Curious means when you are willing to know. Onlookers means those who are looking at. And turnstile means a mechanical gate consisting of revolving horizontal arms. And then we have grin, which means showed teeth. Annoyance means anger. And quadruped means walking on four legs. Prodded means searched with hands. And triumphed means victorious. So these are all the difficult words we have just come across in this session. Okay, so children, in case you have any doubt regarding today's session, you can approach me, and you know how to do it. And I believe you are consistent about completing your homework. Please always complete your homework whenever you receive it. Don't shrink from your responsibilities, and do not skip it. Attend your Zoom classes always, because it is very important, imperative, because we discuss a lot of things in the online Zoom class. So you must attend it. You cannot afford to skip it, because if you will skip it, you will be at loss, because there are certain things that we discuss during the Zoom class, right? And we even have this cross questioning and this query handling sessions, right? So it's very important that you attend the Zoom class regularly. Don't skip it. And yes, for the attendance you have to do it. and you have to complete the homework. So that's all for today's session, everyone. I'll see you in the next class. Have a nice day. Do give it a read once again. Thank you.